This is Maintenance and Manufacturing Insights, hosted by Martin Engster, bringing you straight conversations with the people keeping machines running and production moving.
Oh, welcome back to the show. I am with Cory James today, and we're going to be talking about some maintenance. So, Cory, why don't you introduce yourself and how we can get a hold of you and where you work?
Sure. So, like Martin, said, is I am currently, yeah, my name is Cory James. I am a plant manager at Zeus Industrial Products. For those of you who aren't familiar with Zeus, if you've ever had any medical procedure that you had to go under for and needed a catheter or a stent or anything like that, Zeus makes the tubing that we provide to the medical device companies like Abbott and Boston Sci. So it's
Wow.
one of those very necessary companies, but one that you don't hear a lot about. So I am based in South Carolina, just outside of Columbia. I've only been with Zeus for just over a year now. Best way to get a hold of me is on my email. It's rcjames101@icloud.com. Or you can hit me up on LinkedIn, R. Cory James on LinkedIn. I'm pretty responsive on there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, so, you know, the coolest part, I mean, I say this probably, or I feel like I say this on every daggum episode, or whatever you call these things, podcasts. And it's my favorite part about doing this is talking to people, and you don't realize, like you were just talking about, you don't realize the things that we use or are used on us or are used, in our spectrum, in our world. We have no idea where the hell the stuff comes from,
Yeah.
and that's why you're like, wait a minute. Oh yeah. I never once thought about, okay, the tubing and for that, somebody's got to make it. So,
Yep.
I just talked to a gentleman. He used to work for Bang. He also did Monster for a while. Now he's in a glass company, doing glass for, I mean, just about everybody. He doesn't do glass for cars, but, and they're a big production too. So it's not like, a onesie or twosie. So how big, I mean, since it's a lot of it sounds very pharmaceutical, not pharmaceutical, but is pharmaceutical the right word?
Medical grade
Medical.
is
Thank you.
yeah,
Medical. That's
yeah,
yeah. So since
yep.
this is medical, yeah, I mean, you you got to be a pretty daggum big company.
So we just celebrated 60 years in June. And we have three four manufacturing facilities in South Carolina. Um,
Wow.
and then the founding plant is based out of New Jersey. And then we also have a plant out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So
Oh, so six plants total.
six total. And then we also have our own, this being a maintenance manufacturing, we have our own engineering center that manufactures all our tooling and everything for our machines in-house. And because a lot of the way we do things is proprietary. So we have our own engineering center that builds and designs all the tooling and the machinery that we have here. Some stuff is off the shelf, a melt extruder you can buy off of a Standard Davis or whatnot website, but a lot of the stuff we do here and those engineers and automation engineers do a phenomenal job in designing and building some of the stuff we do here. It's black magic, some of it.
So how'd you fall into this, or how'd you get into this? I mean, you don't just fall into something like this, I don't feel.
Yeah, no, I will say I'm very lucky. So when you talk about, products that are made that people don't know a lot about, so I came from a company just like that again, balances that go in windows that allow you to open a window very easily. The old wooden windows that you had to like force
Yeah.
yourself up, and now with the new vinyl ones, you just give it a little tap and it kind of slides right up. Well, those are because of springs that go inside your window. And I worked for a company that made those springs that went into windows. The individual who hired me for that, I was an engineering and maintenance manager at that company.
Okay.
And the individual who hired me for that role became the VP of manufacturing at Zeus and asked if I would be interested in being a plant manager for him down here. So I got very, very lucky in the fact that
Uh,
I made an
you
impression.
laid the foundation. So, I mean, hey, it's if you're a worker and you're good, it definitely shows to other people, especially your higher ups. And I mean, it employees or finding workers that are good and that do their stuff. I mean, nowadays I mean, it's not easy, I don't think. I
No,
feel like it's getting harder and harder. You've got all this social medias and all this other stuff going on, that I don't know, as in touch we are with other people, or as in touch that we can be with anybody in the world, we seem to be more and more out of touch with each other. So,
yeah,
um, finding personnel is always been, I think, a tough job. So you got to keep the guys that are good. So I
yeah.
get it.
Well, it was a good, and I see your sabers in the background there, and I see Marine Corps on your signature block. So he is a naval officer, '06, and
Awesome.
I'm a former Army officer. So it helped having a boss that spoke the same language, and the plant manager at
Right.
our previous company was also former Army. So we had kind of formed our own little military clique there, and it was easier when you all speak the same language.
Absolutely. We've got multiple veterans here, from Army. Uh, well, okay, my son, he's in the Marine Corps still. So my dad was German Navy. It is definitely the hierarchy, chain of command, whatever you want to call it, that definitely flows a lot easier just because it's, not something that has to be explained. It's instilled in us military guys, it's rude to just jump above someone's head, where civilians might not see it that exact same way as we do, but to us, it's like, it's ingrained in us that
Right,
hierarchy is, I mean, chain of command is chain of command. You don't go talk to your sergeant unless you've talked to your corporal first, and you definitely go
right,
talking to your COs or your officers before you've talked to your enlisted. I mean, that's just, we just don't do that. So with
right.
that being said, if you have that same implementation at work, and you've got your crew and whatnot, I definitely think that makes a huge difference. Like you said, speaking the same language. So
Yep,
I
absolutely.
agree with that. So since this is about maintenance and all that good stuff, um, do you guys have, I've talked to many different companies at this point, many different companies, I exaggerate, several different companies, but they all have some type of standard SOP, right? Standard operating
Mhm.
procedure for the ones that don't speak military. And with that being said, SOP, do you guys have a lot of preventative maintenance, or are you guys a lot more of the reactive maintenance? Like, oh shit, machine is down, we got to do something about it. Or is it, hey, we've got, P's and Q's that we check every single day before we even start the show. And then when we end the show, we check it again. And, that way we kind of know where we're at for the next day.
So we do a lot of preventative maintenance when it's available. I will say, one of the blessings and also it's a curse is we're in a pretty good growth period here at Zeus. So that time that we normally have allocated to do those PMs and stuff on machines is kind of hampered because the machines are running so often. So trying to fit that in and getting that together is a bit more of a challenge now than it was last year. But the goal of the maintenance team is always to do 100% PMs every year across all the machines. Uh,
Are you guys shift work, or are you guys just, you work 9 to 5 and plant shut down?
we're no, sorry, we're normally a 24/5 operation, being off on the weekends, and that's kind of when we are able to do more of the preventative maintenance work. But the problem right now is even we've got so much growth. This weekend we're doing Saturday and Sunday trying to catch up, and then next weekend we're doing a mandatory Saturday and a voluntary Sunday to try and keep ahead. So there's a lot that's been going into it, and so it reduces the amount of time the maintenance staff has to really focus on the preventative maintenance stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that makes, I mean, yeah. So you guys are actually doing, basically you're working overtime right now.
Oh yeah, a lot of overtime.
And is that regular for you guys to have a lot of overtime, or is that just, I mean, I feel like that right now because of overtime, we're spindle company and all that good stuff. With that being said, when COVID and everything was going on, it was very, I mean, if machines aren't running, machines aren't breaking down. If machines ain't breaking down, I'm not fixing them. So, we had a lull where it was kind of, weren't doing a whole lot.
Right.
However, now all of a sudden, I feel like, I don't want to get political and all this stuff because I don't watch the news and I don't follow politics because I think anyway, it is what it is. But I think manufacturing has gotten quite a bit of a spike recently over the last 2, 3 months, maybe, because I mean, we had overtime here just because we're trying to catch up. So, which is a great problem to have, you know.
Right. I think for here, and like I said, I've only been here a year, but just talking to some of the people who have been here much longer than I have, it kind of ebbs and flows. Even last year, before I started, they weren't running any overtime, and they were really kind of in a lull and able to, and there wasn't a big push to fill some of the positions that were open
Right.
because we were keeping up. But towards the back half of the year, the order started to pick back up, and a lot of that had to do with COVID. You mentioned COVID, so a
It is what
lot
it
of
is.
medical stuff going on. We make medical device tubing, so the demand
Yes.
skyrocketed to the point
Yeah, I
where
can only
we
imagine.
couldn't keep
Holy
up.
moly.
So some of the decisions that were made by the family at that time, right, wrong, or indifferent, kind of drove some of our customers away, tried to look for
Sure.
alternate suppliers. And I will say our CEO, Patty, since he's come in, and we were purchased by a private equity firm a couple of years ago, and that whole group has been fantastic.
Good.
Gone through, done, as Patty calls it, his apology tour to all the customers, and we've seen that change with our customers. The orders are starting to come back. The trust is there again, and we're just getting more and more business from these medical device suppliers. So it's a good problem to have. Growth is always a great problem to have. It's always better to be growing than declining.
Yep.
But
If you're not growing, you're dying, right?
yeah, exactly. But there's always, a cost to that. You can only bring in people so quickly. You can only train them so quickly.
Right. And
And
then comes the next phrase, right? Growing pains. It's like, okay, wait a minute. I mean,
yeah,
you die. I mean, you're screwed if you don't, you're screwed if you do. So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
finding that balance is always, I mean, it is what it is. You got to find that
yeah,
balance.
yeah. And this facility here, it celebrated 30 years in January of this year,
Oh, awesome.
and it's always been kind of a workhorse for the company as a whole. And but because of that, there hasn't been a lot of investment into upgrades of the machinery. So we're going through and we're refurbishing a lot of our machines this year, and that just adds to those growing pains because we instead of having 12 machines running, we've only got 11 machines running
Right,
because we're
right,
trying
right.
to refurbish one every month. So it's a good problem to have, but it's not easy to explain to a customer why their orders are late,
Correct. Yeah.
and whatnot.
So are you doing the refurbishing of the machines all in-house, or do you guys outsource, or,
It's
I mean,
all in house. That's
everything is
all
done
the
in-house?
everything. Yeah, the oven systems, the extrusion systems, the rams, even the HMI and the PLCs are all done in house and designed and installed from engineers and maintenance people in house. So
Wow. I mean, that's a hell of a crew, I would say, then, for all
yeah,
that. I mean, but then again, everything you do out of house is, it's money out the door. So
yeah,
everything that you can keep in is better for the company. I mean, usually.
usually. Well,
Right.
and I will say the team that does it, they're the engineering center team. They have a program called Zeus Training Academy, and what they do is it's kind of like the NFL or college draft. they'll go to these different vocational programs at different high schools, and they basically recruit some of the top students out of those, who can run a CNC machine, who can do that. And then we offer them an apprenticeship, and they come in and we teach them a lot of the things. So it's not just, so we're investing back into folks as well,
Right.
Which is a great program. It's the only company I've ever worked for who has anything like that.
Yep. We have a program with the VOTEC, the state of Oklahoma, and Centerline. So the three of us, basically, we do an educational program for students or for kids, whatever else, they don't want to go to college. They want to do the VOTEC stuff instead or whatever else. They can
Sure.
come here, apply for a job here. And, the program, again, half the day is done over at the VOTEC where they're learning hands-on. And then the other half is here at Centerline where they're actually, again, doing hands-on. So it's not just classroom stuff with a bunch of other kids, but it is here doing hands-on, doing the stuff, for our niche. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, every company has got their own, set of rules or their own stuff. I mean,
Right.
nobody's the same. Everybody does their
Yeah.
things differently. I've talked to the guy before you that I talked to was for a glass company. He does things completely different than the other company that I have that, that does glass stuff. I mean, it's just everybody does things differently. Their own niche. So it's one of the, yeah, well, I mean, if you guys do everything in house, then usually your turnaround time to get your machines that are down. So, like you were saying, you're doing one machine per month right now to revamp it or whatever else. Does that take the entire month, or do you guys?
It takes about 3 weeks from tear down to turn over to operations, and then it takes us about a week and a half to requalify the machine. So one thing we have to do is, with the customer, we have to demonstrate that the parts that we're making after we've refurbished it are just as good as the parts beforehand.
Right.
So we go
QC,
through
basically
these trial runs and requalify the machine afterwards, and that can sometimes take 7 days. We've seen it where it takes as short as 3 days to as long as 10 business days. So
Yeah.
we just plan for 7, and so it's about a 5-week turnaround.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's still, especially since it's all in house, that has got to be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing for us. I mean, everything we do here, we're our own, team. So in other words, when something goes down, that's what we do. We fix it anyway. So, but it's yeah, when it's a bigger job, then takes longer, has to do more. I mean, it just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So one of the questions I always like to ask people, when you're talking to your friends or buddies or significant others, family, and you tell them what you do, what surprises them the most about what you do today?
And what surprises them the most? I think it's what I currently do. What surprises them the most is just when you tell them what Zeus does, because it's very similar to your reaction. It's like, I never thought about who makes the tubing for those things. And, I'm getting to the age now where, parents and grandparents and stuff, everybody's had, or even people in my own peer group have had some sort of medical procedure where they needed to have a catheter put in or a stent put in or whatever the case may be. And so, the light bulb goes off and it's like, oh, I never really thought about. I just thought, whoever manufactured the catheter manufactured the whole thing in house. And it's like, no, like we provide basically all the tubing to them, and then they, run their own special catheters and stuff through it. Or our sister company called Cathex, they will actually design catheters for Boston Scientific and with conjunction with some of our other customers to kind of give them the product they're looking for.
Right. So you're making the product, them packaging it, and them putting it together, however it's supposed to be put together for medical use. I mean, that's up to the next company. You're just a supplier of the tubing, basically, that gets used.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll tell you what, for as many people as there are in the world. And like you said, older people, younger people, people our age. I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm 45.
You got me
It's
by 2 years. I just
Yep.
turned 43.
There you go. There you go. See, I'm the old dog here. Ah, well, hey, I'm also a jarhead, so you know. But yeah, it's wild. I mean, at some point, yeah, each of us or whatever else have had, we might not have had use for it, but it's been used on us.
Right.
So, it is what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty wild. That's what I like about these things is just talking to different people and what they do and what they're producing. It's just, again, the guy I talked to earlier about the glass stuff, it's like you're just sitting there going, well, yeah, somebody's got to make that shit too. I
Yeah.
mean, somebody's got to do this, somebody's got to do that. So all the stuff that we see, and I think that's for me the coolest part. And also about like, when you same question I just asked you, when they ask what spindles are used for or whatever else, it's like, well, it's for every daggum thing that you basically look at and use, or your TV to, I mean, it's everywhere. It's being used everywhere. Manufacturing
Right.
is, I mean, that's how we get our products. It's manufactured.
Yeah.
Somebody has to make
Yep.
it. It doesn't just come out of the ground. It's not a plant. So that's the part that I like the most. I think it's pretty cool. We all have our unique places that we work at, and we need all of it just to keep everything still running, right?
Oh yeah.
What kind of
Out of
hobbies you got?
curiosity, I'm sorry, what's that?
What kind of hobbies you got outside of I mean, I'm not going to make fun of you, but catheters.
I spend a lot of time. I like to go to the gym, military physical fitness thing.
It's
So I
it's
go to the gym.
ingrained, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
just don't get out.
nope. But and then most of the time it's spending some time with out in the pool with my dog and my wife. We especially here in South Carolina, that pool is a lifesaver
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
time of year.
Rub it
So
in, my friend. Rub it in. I live in Oklahoma, man. It's hotter than hell up here, but I tell you what, I still have I don't know. I might be just too stingy or something. I have not been able to pull the trigger on a pool. I've been looking at pools and people to put them in for the last 3 years. And for whatever reason, I just have not. I don't know, but I need to. I definitely need to.
that
It's
was
too hot.
because my wife and I moved down here from Baltimore, and that's where we lived, and so we went from a row home, the standard
Yep.
northeastern row homes and all those
I used
old
to live in New
cities.
Hampshire. I hear
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So and then moving down here, and so one of the stipulations was the yard or the house had to have a pool. So I looked at I don't know how many houses before we finally found this one. So it's and there's not I will say there's nothing better than just coming home from work, putting your shorts on and grabbing some beer, throwing in your little backpack
Correct. I
cooler,
mean, come on.
going
You
out and
can't be
just
in a pool without a beer. I mean,
yeah,
that's just
floating
as
around, just
a
drinking a beer.
military person. I mean, officer or not.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on. It's a designated must.
Oh
So
yeah,
even if it's
yeah,
just one, it's just the cooling off and it's the enjoyment of just having that beer, right? I mean,
yeah.
I just got back from Germany. I'm originally from Germany, so it's beer is just it's part of my
Oh yeah.
heritage, it's my culture. It just is what it is. So when I was there for about 10 days, and my godfather, he's got a pool as well. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than sitting in a pool, sipping on a beer. Yeah, it is what I'd like to do as well, but I got to get a pool first.
Where at in Germany were you?
Southern part, so near Stuttgart. That's usually what
Oh,
everybody knows.
I was in
I'm from the
Baumholder.
state next to Bavaria.
Yeah.
So everybody knows Bavaria because of Munich and all that good stuff and BMW. But I'm from the better state that makes Mercedes and Porsche. So, I mean, I'm kind of a car guy. So it just, yeah, it was good. It was good seeing friends and family and everything. It's just, you never seem to have enough time. But then at the same time, for me, it's like, I'm not a big city person. So anything in Germany feels big city to me just because no matter where you are, you can see. I mean, even if you're in a field, you look 2 kilometers that way and there's a house. There's
Yeah.
always civilization, if you want to call it that, is always
Right.
around you. So it just Yeah, it's for me after a couple of days, or a week or two, I'm like, okay, send me back to the prairie. I want to go back home. So but it's always good.
That's
Well,
I was whenever I was living in Germany when the housing guy asked me because I was stationed in Baumholder, he goes, "Where do you want to live, in a city or out in the country?" And in my mind, a city is like an American city, and I was like, "No, no, I want to live out in the country." And then a buddy of mine, he had an apartment in Eder Oberstein, and we would go there, and it was like deathly quiet. And I was like, "Oh, this isn't anything like American cities where you've got
yeah.
traffic racing everywhere, ambulances running up and
Nope.
down the road, police cars and
Nope.
stuff." And it was
Nope.
like
It's
so quiet and
even
peaceful.
in the small towns, you've got where you hit the speed limit, they'll tell you, I mean, because it pops up on your car now. Now it's like it's
Yeah,
very, techno, whatever, GPS and whatnot. But it'll tell you that from this time to this time, the speed is actually you're driving 15 miles an hour through this damn town, at night. And you're like, oh, this is to me, I'm a car guy, I'm a gearhead, whatever you want to call it. So that means I got a lead foot as well. And for me, that was like, you've got to be, as soon as it starts going down, the sun goes down, you might as well just put that cruise control on 15 miles an hour and just, it
yeah,
drove me nuts. But, you do what you got to do.
yeah. Trade-offs. Good
That's right.
beer, slow traffic.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, let's wrap this up. I appreciate you coming on, chatting with me for a little bit about maintenance and what you do and how you do it. And again, shedding some light on the things that are produced and manufactured that we probably didn't even know about, or we knew about it, we just didn't even think about it.
Yeah,
I think that's the key. We know about it, we just don't know where the hell it comes from.
right.
So I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Sound good?
Thanks, Martin. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Maintenance and Manufacturing Insights with Martin Engster. Want to be featured on the show? Head over to maintenancemanufacturinginsights.com/guest to apply and share your story with the industry.